Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David and this is a deck review. Today we're going to look at the Legacy series. The Legacy series was first released on Kickstarter, actually twice, and both times it didn't fund. And so fortunately what happened the second time around was Gambler's Warehouse picked it up and fronted the money and had it released anyway. The Legacy decks, they were put out by 4 p.m. If you remember 4 p.m. Designs, they also did the grid. Okay, and so this series comes with 3 colors. You get 2 colors from the United States Playing Card Company. You get the red and the blue, and you get the black color, the black unbranded color from Apollo Playing Cards. Now, the reason behind this deck, it's come to age, is that since 1885. The United States Playing Card Company, they've been printing and making decks, and they are really the most popular and demanded brand of playing cards around the world. We call them Bicycle typically, and even though they've released just a myriad of back designs, the back design that they are probably most recognized for is, of course, the 808 Rider back. You've seen that design with lots of different colors. You've seen that design with lots of different themes. But overall, the little angel on the back riding the bike, that's kind of been there since the beginning. And so what 4 p.m. wanted to do was keep tradition in what makes that design a really great and memorable brand, and then inspire it a little bit. So what 4 p.m. did was they worked with the United States Playing Card Company to kind of push what makes the Rider back great, and then bring their customers a new design that's kind of inspired by the original. And so I think the back design still keeps a lot of the same integrity and what you and I are familiar with when we think about Bicycle, and yet it adds to it and it kind of creates something new, and then you have the Legacy. So Bicycle Legacy, this is a true set of unique poker cards. That means everything's been redone. You've got hand-drawn courts, new aces, new jokers. All 3 of these decks have a new appeal and a very simplistic layout, but yet at the same time, it has a very familiar feel in that it sort of reminds you of a traditional Bicycle deck. So this makes Legacy just a great deck all around for Magic, cardistry, even poker games. So let's take a look at these 3 decks, and for this review, we will be looking at the red and blue decks. The red and blue decks are pretty much identical, except for the back design, of course. And so for this review, we're going to look at the blue deck of the 2. The blue deck tuck, it says Bicycle right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's raised, so it's an embellishment that's on the front of the tuck. And it has this kind of cigar band that goes around the entire tuck case. There's a really beautiful ornate ace pip there in the center. And it says Playing Cards Made in the USA. It says Magic Finish Made in the USA on one side, and then it says United States Playing Card Company on the other. The bottom has some ad copy about Bicycle and 4 p.m. designs. So you actually have a little UPC bar scanner there. And then the top design, the top of the tuck flap, is really cool. It says poker size, and then it has the Bicycle angel with its wings spread out, which is kind of like the Legacy emblem. And then there's a little bit about the Legacy brand and what the inspiration is behind this deck. The inside of the tuck flap is colored. It's dark blue there, and you'll notice it has a little Latin phrase, Arte Eterna, which means strong and eternal. The back design on the back of the tuck is this new Legacy edition back. It's the angel on the back of the bike, but his wings are spread out. You even kind of have a little bit of a Bicycle nod right there on the top and bottom. You have their kind of branded little ace symbol. And then you have a lot of really cool scroll embellishments going around the edge, making the border of the back design. I'm going to try to show you the inside of this tuck case in the best light as I can. You can see the coloring and the inscription there, as well as the ace symbol on the back wall. And then way down at the bottom, you can see a little indicator that it says 4 p.m. designs across the bottom of the tuck. That's pretty much it for this tuck case. Now let's take a look at these cards. The Legacy decks are printed on a standard retail stock. They do have air cushion embossing, as well as Magic Finish and a modern cut. And if you'd like to learn more about cut, embossing, or finish, you can click this link. The back design, like I showed you earlier from the tuck case, is just this new legacy image of the angel riding the back of the bicycle. There's kind of like an emblem pushing down and an emblem pushing up with a circle graphic in the middle. And then the edges have a lot of this kind of scroll work that kind of tie it all together. I would say it's probably not as ornate as an 808 back. There's a little bit more detail that goes on in a typical rider back, but it does carry a lot of the same themes. You have the birds flying over the angel, he's riding through grass, and there's a couple of very familiar 808 embellishments around the edges. With this deck, you're going to get a couple of things. The first of which is you're going to get a standard double backer, and so in the blue back, you're going to get a blue double backer. In the red back, you'll get a red double backer. You'll also get a double backer of alternating colors. This is really cool because if you get the red and blue deck, you would be able to do a color changing deck routine with this single card. And so that's always nice to have when you have two decks that have alternating colors. So that is a really very useful gaff. The other thing you're going to get is two jokers, and you're going to get, they're identical, and of course, but one is blue and one is red. You can't take your extra red one out and put it in the red deck because, of course, the backs are blue. So, but it's nice to have the little alternating jokers there. You're also going to notice the familiar bicycle, right? That's the bicycle pip for the joker. The U and the S linked together to kind of look like a dollar sign, but it's not really. That's United States Playing Card Company's actual seal, and so they had to get permission for that. So this is more evidence that Bicycle worked very closely with 4 p.m. to make this really cool deck. The other thing you're going to get with this deck is just a humongous exploded legacy playing cards Ace of Spades. It's really awesome. It says Bicycle right there at the top. That's the Bicycle branding. It says Legacy, United States Playing Card Company, and created by 4 p.m. Designs. There are also a couple of other interesting features about this deck. The first of which is the face of these cards. The black suits are actually blue. Okay, so this is a blue color, and so that kind of helps the theme of the decks. Between the blue deck and the red deck, you have blue fonts and red fonts in the deck itself too. So that's kind of cool. The second thing is you're getting brand new fonts in the corner for your pips and indices. So it's a brand new design. Also, you're going to get two new pips in the opposite corners, and so this deck will fan either left or right. So you'll notice that those pips are kind of sealed in a little frame, and I'll give you a little sample of what that looks like a little later in the review. The other thing you get with this is you get a slight watermark. There's a really cool shadow feature going on the left and the right of these cards. It's kind of like a floral, kind of like cloud pattern. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but there's a little hint of kind of regalcy going on there, so that's kind of cool. So this is what the deck looks like in a reverse spread. So these are the pips and indices that are in the upper right corner, and it's just an interesting way to look at this deck. And then of course if you were to look at this deck using a correct spread, these would be all the pips and indices in the upper left corner. So you can really see just the creativity that was put into the thought process. The quartz in this deck are going to feel familiar, but they're all completely hand-drawn and redone. They do carry a lot of the same kind of familiar dress, weaponry, and whatnot that you would expect from a typical bicycle deck, but for the Legacy series, they have been completely redone with original artwork. Hey, just wanted to give you a little behind the scenes of the Legacy series, both the white and the red. You can kind of get a little hint there of the inside of the tuck case of the blue tuck and the red tuck. Pretty similar back designs, just alternating colors. Here's a couple of your aces that are really beautiful. And your two alternating jokers, both blue and red. And here's a sampling of some of the quartz that are included in this series. Hey, so here's a close-up view of the poker chips that came from Gambler's Warehouse if you order them in addition to the cards. They are identical on both sides. They do kind of have a mirrored kind of flipped image, but there's no need to show you the back side since it looks exactly like the front side. Here's the blue poker chip and the red
poker chip and the black poker chip.
Well, that's pretty much it for this deck review. As always, we recommend that you like this video just so other people can find it faster. We also recommend that you subscribe to this channel just to stay up to date on the latest in cards and card magic. You can follow us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/magicorthodoxy. You can also like our page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/magicorthodoxy. Thanks. Bye.